With that in mind, let's talk with Brent Brennan, the head football coach of the Arizona Wildcats, who got scorching hot at the end of the season, including their win over Arizona State in the Territorial Cup. Morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. What a end of the season for you guys, winning 5 straight to close it out, and then a top 39 recruiting class, 36th, with 21 commitments, including 6 4-stars. But let's start with the Territorial Cup and the 5 straight wins to end the season. I think you were 2-3 in Big 12 play to start. What changed that allowed you to go on that run to win 5 straight?
I think we felt all season like we had a good football team, and we felt like we went on the road to Iowa State and they beat us fair and square. But those other 2 losses, like those were hard-fought deals. Double overtime versus BYU, who's obviously playing in the championship game this weekend, and then we lost on the last play of the game at Houston. Which was also a good football team. So I think we were confident we had a good football team, and to the credit of our coaching staff and our players, everybody just kept coming to work every day, kept grinding through it and attacking the process, and the results were or the outcomes were good because of that process.
Coach, man, we are huge fans of what you're doing in Tucson. You're one of the good guys. Like, you were one of the first coaches that came on the newly launched Big 12 radio about a year and a half ago here on TuneIn, and now on video with Big 12 Studios, and we are just so happy for you and all your success. Is there a little bit of a different vibe around Tucson, year 2 for you and during this run? Because last year, I know things didn't go how you had planned, but you got hired so late in the process. We're like, man, just wait and let's see what he can do next year, and you guys have had a major breakthrough.
No, thanks for that. I think we just stuck to it, man. Like, I just think we were not easily discouraged, and excuse me, I've been coaching a long time, and I know how this thing goes. I've been in lots of fights, and so I was good for it. I know 2024 didn't go the way I wanted to go. Our fans anybody wanted it to go, but we were just focused on improving every day. We're really fortunate to put a really good staff around these players. Just great coaches, great people. We've got really good support from Desiree Reed Francois, our athletics director, and our new president. And so we're making progress here, and I feel great about it. I love the way the season ended. Beating the team up north was fantastic. Putting together a good recruiting class. I just think we have a ton of momentum, and we're letting it rip, man.
Yeah, I mean, watching your team this year, I mean, it's so obvious that the differences between 24 and 25, you could run the football and play defense, which were 2 things that were very difficult for the 2024 team. And I love the 25 defense from the standpoint of turning teams over, being aggressive. The secondary was really good at being aggressive and creating turnovers. How big of a hire was Danny Gonzalez, and when did you know that this thing defensively could be turned around as quickly as it was?
I had coached against Danny for lots of years, and back in the Mountain West, and I had known what a great football coach he was. And so it was interesting because I think when I made the move with him a year ago, people were kind of raising their eyebrows, but I had confidence in it. You know what I mean? And so, I believe in Danny, and obviously we kicked a lot of ass this year on defense, and props to him. Props to that guy, all those coaches on that side of the ball and those players that believed they could. I think that's one of those things is, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. And
yep.
and those guys let it rip, and they were fun to watch.
Well, Coach, I lose sleep at night when I know that I have to give my co-host Ari props, but I have to do it. He said it, man, like a month ago that Noah Fifita should be the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and your case for your quarterback.
Well, so to be fair, full context here, we had this argument before the Cincinnati game, and at that point, Sorsby was the favorite in that conversation. I said Fifita, and then, of course, he went and proved it on the field in that game at Cincinnati.
We're building Ari a trophy outside the studio for those comments.
I had it first.
A statue, I should say.
Well, I think I'm with Ari because I know at the Big 12 Media Day, I said by December, everybody in the country is going to be talking about Noah Fifita. That was my quote. I said it because I believed in that kid. He is special in every way. And so none of the accolades or the love that he's getting or the way he played is a surprise to me or anybody in this building. I think when you combine him with Coach Daggy and what Coach Daggy's relationship with Noah has been, it's been magic. And just coming to work with him every day, being around him every day. We just signed his little brother yesterday, so now we're adding a little more Fifita to the family, which I love.
Awesome.
But Noah is special, and you don't have to spend much time with him to get a feel for just what a unique young man he is. And on the football field, just he's funny because he's not super emotional. He's almost like, he's like the Terminator, just like no emotion, just steady all the time. And but to see him just make the plays he makes, throwing the football, his poise in the pocket, his command of our offense, really, really special.
I want to give you some time to talk about the recruiting class you signed yesterday, which again ranks 36 in the 24/7 Sports Composite, which is incredible. It's a good mix, and I would say, from a geography standpoint, fits well into the mold of what Arizona fans are probably used to in terms of the lifeblood of California, Arizona, but then a good mix of Texas. You're really dipping, getting into the Texas side of things. Zaire Heiler, the kid from Denton Ryan, that's a big time program out here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Denton. Another kid from El Paso, which is a little bit closer to Tucson. So just give us a sense here of this class you've signed, especially highlighted by these 6 4-star kids.
No, we're really excited about this group, and it's funny because, we were just talking about Noah Fifita, but his brother Dash was the co-defensive player of the year in the Trinity League in California. I mean, there's not a better high school football league in the country than that one. You know what I mean? So, we've got a lot of, we're excited about all these kids. Taking the player of the year out of Nevada, with Prince out of Bishop Gorman. And then obviously dipping into Texas has been critical for us. But we feel like we added some speed at wideout. We added some skill. And then O&D line was, just a huge point of emphasis for us. And I think Coach Salavea did a great job bringing some big-time D-line into this class. And then also we feel great about the offensive line players that are coming. And the one sleeper of the group, I'm telling you, is this tailback from Fresno. Like this kid, Brandon Smith, now is something. And he's a two-way player. He's playing in the NorCal Championship this Friday, but he's unbelievable. Like he's a 10,500 meter kid.
Wow.
He can go. On defense, he'll knock your ass off. Like he is fun. So there's a lot of really good stuff in this thing. We're fired up, man.
Yeah, 6 foot, 185 pounds. That's not bad for a 18-year-old that's going to be a freshman next year. And then what I need to know is Dash Fifita, 5'10", 185-pound linebacker. So there's Hank Bachmeyer, and then there's Bear. So how do the parents who name one kid Noah then have Dash? I feel like Noah got the short end of the stick in terms of names here.
Well, shoot, I'll tell you this. If you spend any time with the Fifita family, Winona, the mom, is just the champion of all champions. And then Les is kind of the coach. Les is kind of the tough guy, always on the kids, coaching them. But Dash when you watch him play, he is a Tasmanian devil, man. He makes every play on the field. When you're watching him play, you're like, that's when we offered him a year ago. We were just like, how can we not offer this kid just watching his games? We're like, he makes every play on the field. And so it's super fun for us to have him coming. And I don't know how they got Dash and Noah, but they are great people, I'll tell you that. They are wonderful.
That's awesome. Talking with Arizona head football coach Brent Brennan here on Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio and Big 12 Studios. Coach, I go back to your game against BYU. Okay, you lose that game in double overtime. My point in saying that is that could be you next year, the position BYU's in this year, with an 11-1 record, getting ready to play for a Big 12 championship game, and still outside looking in when it comes to the college football playoff rankings. We look at their resume and can't imagine a better at-large resume for a one-loss team that is getting snubbed. I'm just curious, as somebody who played them and who represents Arizona and is a voice in the Big 12, your thoughts on what the college football playoff picture looks like.
I think if you're a one-loss team in this conference, you should get in. I don't know how else. That's the most simple I can say it. If you play in this and really any Power 4 conference, if you're a one-loss team in a Power 4 conference, you should be in that thing because the conference is too tough. Everyone is super good. Week in and week out, you have to show up and just absolutely slug it out. And so to me, I'm just for them, I think they should get in.
What would be your game plan to stop Texas Tech? Because there's been very few teams that have been able to do it this year.
What's funny is that I haven't seen them on film very much. We haven't had a ton of crossover. So
yeah,
I don't even know. I mean, I think the biggest thing would be to, stop them from paying all them good players all that money. You know what I mean? But, uh, no, Coach McGuire is a great coach and a great dude. I know that. Like, he's
Yeah.
an awesome football coach, and he's done a great job putting those pieces together. So I give them a ton of credit. Obviously, they got some special players on that team, quarterback and the linebacker, and just like they've done a great job putting that thing together. So, I got all the respect in the world for them. I'm excited to watch that game. I love Kalani. Kalani and I worked together at Oregon State a decade ago, and lived in the same neighborhood. So we've been long time friends, and so I'm excited to see that game. I think it's going to be a great game.
We're excited to see where you end up for your bowl game and watching Arizona in a really nice bowl. When will you find out what bowl you guys are headed to and get the invite? Is that this upcoming Sunday?
Yeah, that's the way I know it to be is Sunday. But we're fired up, man. I think it's a cool thing. This has been a great year for us, and all of us are still a little bit pissed off because we felt like we let a couple get away. You know what I mean? We felt like credit to BYU and Houston, they made the plays that day when we didn't make enough. But so we're excited to play this thing, and wherever we go and whoever we play, we'll be ready for it. We can't wait.
Can't wait to see it. Brent Brennan, the head football coach of Arizona. Appreciate your time very much, Coach. Be well, and we can't wait to see your bowl game. Take care.
Appreciate it. Bear down.
There you go.